I waited all week for Enru.
Aw, hey
Good
Babz.
morning. Welcome to the second hour of LoveBabz, LoveTalk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy, and our resident Yoruba priest is in the house.
Mm,
How are you?
I'm good. So, Ekaaro is the Yoruba word for good morning. That's how you greet people in the morning.
Oh, I like that.
Ekaaro.
It's got a little sing to it.
Well, Yoruba is a tonal language, so it's all those little lilts are important.
I love it.
So, yeah, good morning, Babz. Good morning, everyone. Um, let's just start some chanting, and then we'll see where we go.
You're right.
Yeah, so we greet our ancestors. We thank them for the blessings, the gifts, the affinities that we have, for all the things that they've left for us. And those things that we've left for us, things that they have left for us, we are using those things today. So this is a way we honor our ancestors in this tradition, which is a tradition in a way that has like made its way through the diaspora in so many ways, that we continue to honor our ancestors in the ways that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Iba baba tó fún wa ṣe o. Iba baba tó fún wa ṣe. Iba baba tó fún wa ṣe o. Iba baba tó fún wa ṣe. Àṣetè fún wa là ń lò yìí o. Iba baba tó fún wa ṣe. Ìbà yèyé tó fún wa ṣe o. Ìbà yèyé tó fún wa ṣe. Ìbà yèyé tó fún wa ṣe o. Ìbà yèyé tó fún wa ṣe. Àṣetè fún wa là ń lò yìí o. Ìbà yèyé tó fún wa ṣe. Ìbà egungun tó fún wa ṣe o. Ìbà egungun tó fún wa ṣe. Ìbà egungun tó fún wa ṣe o. Ìbà egungun tó fún wa ṣe. Àṣetè fún wa là ń lò yìí o. Ìbà egungun tó fún wa ṣe. Ìbà egungun tó fún wa ṣe. Ìbà egungun tó fún wa ṣe. Àṣẹ, àṣẹ,
Shit.
àṣẹ.
Amen. What is on your heart and mind these days, Brother Enru?
These days, so many things. I mean, I think so. Something I found out this morning. So the thing that's in my heart these days are, I think, this continual piece of balancing and being present with like the suffering, the pain and suffering of our lives and the world, and still being connected to community, to hope, to mystery, to what life still has to offer us, even as those things are happening. So that's like a ongoing theme, as you know, so
Because we're not betraying suffering when we find pockets and moments of joy. Like, we're not being disrespectful. At least I don't think. When we have pockets of joy and celebration, even though there are people among us here and abroad that are suffering and are up against it in ways that are just inhumane.
yes.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, there's a
But we
balance
need,
there that's hard.
yes, because so many people, there's such a like a cultural desire to avoid suffering at all costs, right? We've got all the mechanisms. We got our phones, which is the like most intimate mechanism. We've got shopping, we've got food, we've got sex, we've got like all kinds of things to like numb and distract us from feeling, period, right? From feeling discomfort, from feeling sadness, from connecting with that suffering. Because if we connect with the suffering, that means we're also connecting to it in us, right? It's not just like, oh, those people, I feel bad for those people, right? Whoever they are, right? But when we really open our hearts, we're also touching our own suffering. And many people don't have a lot of practice with that, and instead have a lot of practice avoiding it. And so in general, when the notion of like connecting with the good of life, like what life has for us, can seem for many people like that same kind of avoidance. Like, oh, like we're all just people. Why can't we all just get along, right? All lives matter, right? Like that's how it lands. And so to me, it takes actually a lot of work and clarity to say, no, this isn't about disconnecting from that or saying that oppression doesn't exist, by saying that if you just think the right thing, then the good thing will happen. It's not about that at all. And right, it's being very clear about, as much as possible, being aware of the suffering and the causes of those suffering, causing of that suffering. And in order to not also get lost in that, lost in the despair, it's important to remember that life has something for us. Life can support us, can support our personhood, can support our humanity, can support our right for healthcare, for education, for housing, for peace, for justice. And so if we're connected with that space that's life affirming, it actually points us in a direction to help us alleviate suffering, minimize suffering, find a place for it, not disconnect, but like to understand differences between like the pain of circumstances and then suffering. And in the midst of horrors, people find joy in life and love, and kids play, and it's under horrific circumstances that we don't wish upon anybody. But it's so important that we find our way to these things that are nourishing for us, even when it seems like such a small. It's like, oh, that the little plant that grows in the crack of the sidewalk is an affirmation when everything just seems to be paved over. Life is still here. Even beneath the pavement, we're still on the earth. The earth is still here. Even when we feel lost and alone, our ancestors are still with us, right? When we don't have any other relationship, maybe with other people, our ancestors are with us. And these are things that are important to help us maintain our humanity, and that there is still something here for us when all can seem hopeless. And it takes practice, and it's a practice and a movement counter to the narrative of just either giving up or numb it out, or just don't look over there, look over here instead. Ignore that. Ignore those people, ignore that suffering. Oh, look what you have. It's so good. Just revel and bathe in all the glory and the goodness and the excess and the, what wealth can give you, what privilege can give you, what power, a certain kind of power can give you. But if we do that, we actually lose it chips away, it numbs us from our own humanity, from our own hearts, from our own connection to life and to people and to beings and to the divine and to who we are and who we can be, which we can, life has more and more for us. We can keep becoming more and more of ourselves and discover what that means to be in community with people who are more and more of ourselves and can see each other. So even in this, I think particularly in this time, it feels even more and more important that we find those practices that connect us to these things that nourish us in these very, very difficult times. Difficult times for ourselves, difficult times for our kin, right? Our siblings, our community members, or even strangers. Oh, right? Why should we ignore that stranger who's suffering just because, they're not like in my home, in my family, in my hearts? Because those things that are leading to that person's suffering, it's very easy for that to, in a moment, now we feel that suffering, right? People who are, it strikes me when, that people unhoused asking for money, right? And it can be so easy being very judgmental and putting conditions on, not even if we have something to give them, like money, or food, but even just giving them attention, right? Looking at them saying, I'm sorry, I don't have anything I can give you today, but I see you as a person. I hope you're okay. I hope you stay safe. Right? We shut ourselves so easily. We put conditions on care that we offer, that extend to people. Right? Compassion that we extend to people. But it can be so easy. Right? So many of us are not that far away from circumstances that can lead to that, right? Or policies change, right? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, people who thought they were safe, oh yeah, here I am, I'm here, provisionally, and I go to the office with ICE to just check in, everything else is fine. They just want to know, oh yeah, I'm here, everything's progressing fine, and all of a sudden, they show up, things are okay, and they're deported. And no recourse. And because of a policy change.
Yeah.
Right? How much do we rely on those policies, right? As Black people, as older people, as people who are disabled, people who have special needs, policy changes, access changes. Abilities to vote, abilities to move freely, all those things change. And so we need practices to keep us connected to the good things in ourselves and each other so that we can see each other even as other things change. Right? These notions of, my liberation is tied up with your liberation is just accurate. It's not like a notion, right? It's accurate.
I stay in the space of shared destiny all the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just so clear to me, right. that we all are here.
We all are here, and it's not because of ourselves. Right? We had parents. If they didn't do what they did, we would not be here. If their parents did not do what they did, they would not have been here, so we would not be here. Like, how we eat, how we live, how we dress, where we live, we are intertwined with everything. Right? Mm. And so if the good things we have are intertwined, then also when suffering happens, we're intertwined. And it takes practice to be open to that and then to be present with it. And something I learned as a therapist is that, we can get so caught up in having the right answer, doing the right thing. And so much of it is just being present with somebody. That person is like, oh, you're with me unconditionally for this period of time. You're just listening to me. You're with me. You're supporting me. Not saying everything I think is correct, but you're with me. You're on my side. And that literally is just about being present. I don't have to prove anything. People come into the office with that expectation. Oh, this is going to be a place. Good fit. But when it's there, it's just being present with somebody. Mm-hmm. If somebody knows you're going to listen to them, they will all kinds of things will come out of them. Because we don't usually listen to each other. We don't usually have people really listen to us. And we need that. Right?
Yeah.
And we need to listen. How much do we truly listen to other people? Right? Not through the lens of, I'm going to listen to you so I know how to respond to you. I'm going to listen to you so I can debate you. I'm going to listen to you so I can get something. I'm going to listen to you so, I can say my piece. You say your piece. Now I got to say my piece. Right? I listen for the break, the pause. How do we listen for the sake of the other person? Yeah, we don't have practice doing that. Mm-hmm. How do we then listen to, if we can barely do that with other people, many times people can barely do that with themselves, to really listen to what they need, really listen to how they're doing, really listen to their bodies, to their thoughts, not to believe all the thoughts. It's not a good idea to believe everything that we think. It's not necessarily the best. Oh, I thought the thing. Now, yes, that must be true. Or let me just go do that. A little healthy, pause, reflection, discernment. That's the good kind of self-doubt. Do I just think that? Why do I think that thing? But then we can listen, right? Listen to ourselves, listen to others, listen to those not like us, right? Listen to the wind, the ocean, the water, the butterfly, the trees, the raven and the crow, right? There's so much to listen to. And can we allow space to listen to what's there, to our ancestors, to the divine, however we understand that and relate to it? And I know we're, also on the radio, so like having space and pause to listen is not the best thing on the air. I recognize that. That's called dead air, and we don't like that. You want to catch those people flipping through the dial, right? But to find places that feel safe enough to provide space enough to listen enough. Let that be a practice. And know that what you find is there for other people too, in their lives, for them to find with themselves. We're not so different.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's that's the thing. Because it's like at every, like at every turn, there's another flare up, right? There's another global conflict, there's continuing of conflict, violence, war, policies and practices here. I mean, craziness. So, so even as we listen to other people, right, we need like some discernment in that too. So like, all this stuff, actually, I've heard about this before, but like, the president wants to, or is, right, saying, well, these Afrikaners, right, these white South Africans, they are refugees being desired by those in power to be allowed in, to be, quote, protected, really to be given access to resources, and other people who are deemed unworthy and unhuman and should not be allowed or should be kicked out. And that's like the history of immigration in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So that's continuing. And it's important to look at, what's behind these things, which is the same as it's always been, right? It's been around like ideas of racial purity and class and power and influence and who's going to bolster those notions in this country, right? The place of mostly people of color are about either taking advantage of their labor, of their bodies, right? Or of their land, right? And so it's important that we understand whatever our ancestry is, what we have today, and how we can live, right, in this way of being connected to what life has for us, how we can live so that we are moving this piece around humanness and liberation and, just like the Pledge of Allegiance says, right, with liberty and justice for all. The most DEI statement that this country has, which I think is funny. So I encourage people to find a way, if they're struggling with language and what they're ever doing, to like, I'm just quoting the Pledge of Allegiance. Aren't you for the Pledge of Allegiance? But to these practices and policies get put in place because people are not connected to these things that I'm talking about around life, around personhood, about respecting and listening to themselves and other people, about seeing the value in someone else, right? Because of a construct, right? Because of racial constructs. because of a desire to have power over somebody. Right? I want this thing, and I want to make sure you don't get it. And I might even want you to suffer so that I get more. Right? And also, like, it's important that we don't lose ourselves in trying to make those changes, right? We don't lose ourselves to become, right, to lose our humanity, which is, these powerful things around, not using the tools of our master's house to dismantle it. And it's something we have to be very careful of, right? And we don't dehumanize others to fight their dehumanization of us. Right? I used to, as a clinician, I used to work with my clients were young people, like age 4 to 26, basically, who had exhibited some kind of problematic sexual behavior. Right? So they had complex trauma histories, and then they were acting out in a way that was a problem, right? It's causing harm and pain and suffering, and it was kind of in this realm of sexual behaviors. It's easy. Commonly, people would say, "Oh, they're murderers, they're perpetrators, not murderers, sorry, they're monsters," right? And to find also that, like, the vast majority of the time, these were people who had suffered and who had learned that to get their needs met meant causing the suffering of other people. Mm-hmm. And so we had to really help them understand that their behaviors, right? These are problem behaviors that they're engaging. There are thoughts and patterns and issues that are behind those behaviors, but it's not that they themselves are bad, right? So we had to help them change the behavior, change what's behind it so that those behaviors can change. And so, but that's a very hard piece of work to do, right? To see the personhood of people who have caused pain and suffering, right? People who have done violence to other people, people we love and care about. It's very difficult, but it's possible. And it's possible, but again, by having your eyes open and your heart open and being discerning, right? Not just like, they're just good people and just, they're hurt, so just, they're fine. Just let them do whatever. No, like, there needs a healing and an undoing of those dysfunctional patterns, right? I need to get my needs met by causing the suffering of somebody else, right? And that has, in the like 100th degree is what happens. But we see that happening as a part of our normal culture anyway, right?
Yeah.
Who have some power, they're like, oh, well, I need my needs met, so I'm sorry if it causes you a problem. I guess there's something wrong with you, right? And we see that happening over and over again. And so, what's hard is to hold the value of, well, I can't just dispose of this person, right? It's like we're talking about MLK's beloved community, right? That means everybody's in it. If we're really talking about that, I mean, everybody's in it. So we need, there are people who need some relearning and to not behave the way that they're behaving. But how do we, as a culture, help that and foster those values instead of the values of, right, for me to get something, I have to put somebody else down. I have to take advantage of somebody else. For me just to have the little bit to be well, that means I control somebody else, right? If I'm having a bad day, well, it's fine to turn that on to somebody else. And it's going to take a lot to undo that, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that if we connect to these deep things, these deep values of life, of goodness, right? Of what life has for us, what the possibility of it. Imagine if we instead said to everybody, oh, how can we support everybody to have a full, realized and actualized life? Like, if that was the purpose of our culture, right? However people come into it, challenges, right? Whatever. Oh, well, what support do they need? to have a full actualized life in community with all of us together. What a beautiful thing that would be, right? Somebody gets hurt and, and confused and distorted. So how do we help them understand that that's not okay? That's actually not going to get their needs met, right? Actually, it's this illusion that it will. It doesn't actually. So, again, that's the practice.
The practice.
Right? That's what we have to keep finding our way to. The things that, not just for us, but for us in relationship with all of these beings around us, human beings, little furry pet beings, right? Plant beings, the earth, our ancestors, the divine, our neighbors, right? All these, how do we really do that? And we have to work harder, because not to belabor the point, but our little phone devices, right, it is locked into our physicality to pay attention to these other things. So we have to really make time and space for things in our life, in real life, that aren't in the virtual life.
Wow. That's going to take a lot of work, because they are slowly, no, not even slowly, they are fastly becoming integrated, into us.
Yeah, it's just like everything. Take things slow about what you're consuming. Pay attention to what you're consuming in your life. Are you consuming things that are nourishing for your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit? Are they helping you to have this sense of purpose and meaning in your life? Are they helping you to navigate the challenges? Engaging with them, not oh yeah, I'm navigating the challenges, I put them in a box and I bury them in the backyard. That's not, that's not the way to live. I mean, there are things in the moment, right, we do. That's important to deal with major stress. It's not get lost in it. But we need to come back to it so that we are not then living in fear of it, right? Mm-hmm. That's the healing from trauma. That's the healing. That's, PTSD. It's the healing from that. You have to look at it. You have to, the wound that's festering, you need to actually pay attention to the wound. And so we just need to be mindful of what we're consuming and what is creeping into culture, right? Oh yeah, just do this. Oh, use this. Oh, you don't need to. AI will do this for you. AI will do that for you, right? It's just it's happening all these places, look down the road, and what is that going to lead us to? And so what am I going to do now to stay connected to these things that have meaning and purpose and touch me, that can't happen virtually? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because there's something there. That's life, right? There's something in life, in the engagement of the preciousness of things living and dying and transforming and traveling and morphing and being in relationship with each other. Right? There's something there which does not exist in this other realm in the same way.
Yeah. Yes.
So go outside, create some space to listen to what you need, to listen deeply, right? What do I need? What's really gonna feed me and nourish me? Can I be honest about that? Not that I have the answer, but can I be honest about the yearning or the question? Because all of this is about our yearnings that we have. These devices work and are effective because they tap into a yearning that we have. but they don't really satisfy that yearning. It's like a moment. Oh yes, look. Oh, it's so good. Oh yes. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Like, you just move something around in front of somebody and they'll pay attention to it. It doesn't mean it has value other than it just triggers that response because we're people. And that's what so many things are geared towards. Oh, just get my attention. And all of a sudden we're paying attention to things because they get our attention, not actually because there's the value in them.
Yes. That's a good distinction. That's a very good distinction.
Yeah.
And it's so seductive that, it can.
That's because that's how it's made. It's just made to do that. Boom. Oh, right. I'm living my life. Bing. Oh, let me just text, notification, something, right? Important. Or just like, attention. And we do it, right? And all of a sudden we leave what's happening in our lives. Well, we might, the food we're eating. Oh, wait, I'm going to wait. I have to answer this text. I'm going to not eat the food that's literally nourishing my body to answer a text, which can actually wait a little bit of time.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Just pause and realize what's happening. There's something else in life for us.
Something else in life for us. I like that. I appreciate that. I appreciate this conversation today. It's a nice grounding. It's a nice grounding to remind us,
Yeah. Well, I guess I have something to say.
You always have something to say.
That's true.
It's a nice grounding to remind us. I'm going to take that advice today.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's helpful to folks out there. And, again, feel free to reach out to Babz. You can reach out to me. Enroue at healingandliberation.com. ENROUE is my first name. Questions, thoughts, or things you want to hear. I'm always happy to take notes from folks.
Okay.
Because I hope the things that I have to bring are relevant for people.
Oh no, you have quite the following. No, you do. They like listening. They love it. So thank you. And send me some more days when you get a chance.
Okay, I will. And thank you.
Hello to everybody at your house.
I will. You too. Happy belated Mother's Day.
Thank you. Woo! Thank you very much. Same to your wife and your mom.
Yes.
Happy everything.
Yes. All right, Babz.
Thank you, my dear.
Take care.
All right. Thanks, Harry. I'll see you tomorrow, Harry. Friday.